In this video, we're going to take a look at editing the patches and editing setups and working with setups. So let's go into our little view screen over here, and I'm going to show you how to do this. Before I do that, though, real quick, I just want to show you how to quickly navigate between patches. In the last video, I showed you this, but you can navigate between, for example, patterns by holding down the pattern button and going to each program, and it'll go between the different types of patterns. So like if I go to base here, I can go to pad, or I can go up to my drums. Same would hold true of setups. So let's go into the programming menu here and take a look at how to work with both editing regular patches and editing setups. Editing on the Micron is really easy. So for example, I have all of these written right here, all the parameters, voice, oscillator, LFO, premix, different controls that I can edit. If I go to my program, hold down program, I can just hit oscillator, and there are my oscillators. If I hit it again, I get oscillator 1, 2, and 3. If I go to voice, I get my different voice controls. So for example, if I don't want it to be polyphonic, I can set it to monophonic. And then if I hold program down again, I can go up here and I can control things like envelope, release time. So if I want a really long release, I could then push my setup knob in here and turn it until I had a really, really long tail. Extremely long. All the way up to 30 seconds. So if I wanted to hold down programs again and hit envelope, let's say envelope 1 is the really strong one, I can go in there and just increase that all the way up as far as I want. You can even set it to hold as well. It's a little bit extreme though. Now if I go back to programs, I can edit other parameters like LFO, track input, modulation, and output. So for example, my effects out here, I could make 100% wet, and then go back to the type of effect I have going out. So number 1, in this case is a flanger, but I could change it over to a phaser. Also, we have drive options, so I could, in this example, it's a compressor, but I could change it over to a tube overdrive, and instead of having it be 13%, take it all the way up. Get ready, this might be loud. Now if I go over to setups, setups allow me to have a bass on the bottom or drums, whatever I want really. If I go into my setup to edit it, you'll see we have part A program, part B, and C. So there's a lot that you can do with this particular function within the Micron. So for example, here I can set part B's low key and high key. I can tell it how far I want the range to be. So like if I wanted the range only to be from middle C, go up to C3 here, and now it's only between C3 and G10. Let's see what part B is real quick. We have a program called Solar Wire. Okay, that's it right there. And then I want to assign a pattern. We can go in and actually assign different arpeggio phrases. Okay, so for part B, I want to set this so that it starts at C3. So what I want to do is, first of all, on low key, press my selection knob in, take this as far down as I can go. Okay, C0. Go up to high key, press the knob in, and take this down to C3. And now if I press that in, you see now I should have my one sound on top and my louder sound on the bottom. Gotta go down farther though. And if we don't like the sound of that, I can just go ahead and correct that by going back to my program. Turn it down a little bit. And then if we don't like how loud that is, we can actually go ahead and turn the level way down. So now we should have two different patterns going. If we still think that's too loud, I can go back to pattern A and turn its level way up. All right, and before we end this demo, let's take a look at the vocoder.